Boone Pickens, a name that strikes fear in corporate boardrooms. The chairman of Mesa Petroleum is the king of the raiders, and now he wants to lead a nationwide effort against what he says is entrenched and inept management of big business. Specifically, he today announced the formation of the United Shareholders Association, and we welcome Mr. Pickens to Take Two. First of all, what do you want this organization to accomplish?
Lois, we've got 47 million people in America today that own stock in public-owned companies. And those people have not been represented the way they should have been. They're the reason that we have the free enterprise system, and they are the cornerstone of the free enterprise system. So what we'd like to do, the first issue that we'll tackle is the one share, one vote issue. From there, we'll go to probably a confidential vote for stockholders, and then we'll have clarification of proxy material so that the average stockholder can read what's going on in the company that they own stock in.
Don't most shareholders, though, own stock through, well, I don't know, mutual funds or pension plans, that kind of thing? In other words, people usually don't own individual stocks, or most people don't, do they?
Well, Lois, they're probably greater than 10 million that own them through mutual funds and all, but you also have individual stockholders that are 47 million.
So that's the group you're looking for?
Well, I'm looking for anybody that's invested their money is what I'm looking for. I mean, they're entitled to a better shake than they've been getting.
Well, what do you mean specifically? What's your complaint with management of these firms?
Well, I feel like that the management of many companies in corporate America, their first line of defense, whether it's the Japanese or the Koreans or a takeover or whatever else, is to run directly to Washington and get protected. And I think it's time that stockholders are reestablished as owners of these companies and managements are employees, and the employees stay back at the workbench and get the job done. I don't think that it's a place of corporate management to be running to Washington to try to get protected.
Would your organization act for or act as a lobbying organization for shareholders?
Oh, it will be a lobbying organization. We expect to sign up 500,000 people within 2 years. And yes, they'll lobby for stockholders' rights is what we'll do.
Now, one of the problems you say with management is their attempts to thwart takeovers by people like you, I suspect. And I guess the devil's advocate question here is, why isn't it Boone Pickens just looking out for himself here? In other words, the corporations are going to say, well, this guy is the kind of guy that wants to come in and raid us. Why shouldn't we be able to protect ourselves?
Well, we haven't tried to take over a company in a year now, Lois, so I'm practically retired.
Well, but you know what they're saying.
Well, but you don't have a conflict of interest here. I'm confident of that. We haven't set up an association. I don't have to do this. I mean, I feel like it's good for this country, and I believe it's good for the free enterprise system, free markets and all, and it's something I think is necessary. I think the 47 million people need to be represented, and that's the whole thrust of what I'm doing.
If you are successful, would it lead to more takeovers, do you think?
No, I don't think that'll have anything to do with it. I really don't. I think you're just going to bring an accountability back in, and with the accountability in corporate America, I think, you know, it's surprising. We have not asked for any money. I haven't asked for anybody to join the association yet. And we've gotten over 1,000 letters from people. So there's a concern out there as to what's going on. So it's, you know, I think there's a real need for this. I really do.
You're going to operate through a newsletter, as I understand it, and the fee will be $50 a year?
That's right. We'll have at least 6 newsletters a year.
Now, I don't know how most people are, but when that proxy stuff comes in the mail, don't most shareholders just chuck it in the mail or, you know, sign their name and check the first box that they see on the kinds of information they get from corporations in which they own stock? My question is, do you think most stockholders are really going to take an active enough interest in this kind of thing to want to join and fork over $50, even $50?
Oh, well, it's a nonprofit association. I haven't had much, experience with nonprofit deals in the past. Most of the things I've worked on are to make profit, not to break even. But here you've got sure, I think we're going to have a great response to it, and you're exactly right. I think that stockholders have consistently thrown the proxy material in the trash, or they've just checked the for box and said, oh, what the hell, and let it go. I think we're coming up on a different period in corporate America. That is, that you've got managements that have taken the rights away from stockholders, and stockholders are concerned about it.
Mr. Pickens, is there any coincidence that you are starting up your organization in the 15 states that have early presidential primaries in 1988?
No, that is, it has nothing to do with politics either. The reason we focused on those 15 states is because we want those stockholders in those states, as the candidates come through there campaigning, We want them to ask questions about what's going on in corporate America and to be aware of what their concerns are.
But you have
That's the reason for
you have no political aspirations yourself?
I do not have.
What about the price of oil? Is the recent OPEC agreement going to help things out in your neck of the woods?
Pardon me, I didn't hear the question.
I say the recent OPEC agreement and the price of oil, is Texas going to gain as a result?
Oh, sure. I mean, it'll help us, and the state has real problems now. And so any increase in the price of oil will be very much to our advantage in Texas.
Would you like to go out on a limb and say where things might be a year from now? Sure,
I'd be glad to. I think we'll be at $20 a barrel by the 1st of January 1987, and a year from now I think we may be in the area of $20 to $24 a barrel for crude oil.
How about the economy in general? Do you see inflation ahead?
I'm not concerned about inflation. We've got some problems with the economy, there's no doubt about that. But some of the things that we're up to here, I believe that we can make some changes in corporate America to make corporate America competitive again, and that they can get in and do a better job than they're doing. Consequently, I think we can head off a recession in 87 or 88.
Mr. Pickens, thank you for joining us today. The new title is Chairman of United Shareholders Association. Thank you so much.